Welcome back to Kiesel News, everybody. First up, Midori strikes yet again, teasing a potential Splatoon 4 or Splatoon spin-off of some kind. She states that there's a game project with the codename Spiral that is likely related to Splatoon. I'd wager it's definitely a spin-off if anything. It's way too soon for Splatoon 4, bro. The DLC just came out for Splatoon 3 like 3 months ago, 4 months ago. There's so many directions a Splatoon spin-off could go to. I don't see why they wouldn't make one. And it would also line up with Animal Crossing, which shares the same dev team and should be higher on the priority list. I mean, like I said, Splatoon 3 just had a release, whereas Animal Crossing has been dead since late 2021. I think the likely scenario, if the teams are still the same, is that a mainline game isn't being actively worked on both franchises, but we're getting spin-offs in both franchises very soon. That way both projects could be small enough that the team could be divided up. We have awesome The Boys news, which is that it's coming to Fortnite. First Mortal Kombat, now Fortnite. Such huge news. Nah, I'm joking. The Boys could be coming to Fortnite, but the big news regarding The Boys is that it's now not intended to end on its 5th season. Now, I have mixed feelings on this. I haven't seen The Boys, so I can't judge the show in specific. But I feel like 5 or 6 seasons is where you should always call it quits. It's the sweet spot. Basically, every show that I can think of that immediately comes to my mind ended on 5 seasons. U's ending on season 5. TMNT 2003, The Best Incarnation, ended on season 5 pretty much, because 6 and 7 were so different. Game of Thrones got worse after season 5. Red vs. Blue's Blood Gulch Chronicles ended on season 5. Breaking Bad ended on season 5. Sure, Better Call Saul had 6 seasons, but close enough. Obviously, it all comes down to how much story is actually planned. If he truly feels the need to extend the story beyond 5 seasons, he should obviously do it. But this sounds like it's just pressure from how much the public loves it that he wants to keep it going. And you never want to drag out a show like that. We can't forget our Knives Out 3 casting that it has to be in every episode, right guys? And this time, it's Josh Brolin. Now, I'm sure everyone knows him for Thanos, but don't forget that he was in The Goonies, No Country for Old Men, Men in Black 3. He's been in a whole bunch of shit, uh, going as far back as 1985 with The Goonies. So he's definitely a veteran actor. He was also recently in Dune, and he was in the Deadpool movies as well as Cable. But this is definitely a good casting. Probably actually my most anticipated one so far out of any of the announcements. Just because Thanos' fucking acting is so good. So well done. With Jeremy Renner being in the movie too, we'll actually get a scene between Hawkeye and Thanos in some way. Endgame was kind of lacking in that, and then obviously Infinity War was as well. All Knives Out is doing is just making me remember when Marvel was really fucking good. They might be able to get back on track though, as Jordan Peele is currently in talks with them. Now, given Jordan Peele's background, I would wager that this film is something in the supernatural side, a la Blade, Moon Knight, maybe even Ghost Rider or a Black Knight project. Although I would doubt on Black Knight, because I think Black Knight would get a series, not a movie. But I think the funniest outcome would be if he is just doing Blade now. The post just says one of the upcoming films. It doesn't mean that it's a film that hasn't been announced yet. With all the fucking years of turmoil that the Blade movie has gone through, I wouldn't be surprised if it was going through even more. And now we have a new director with Jordan Peele. Next up, Paramount and Skydance have officially agreed to merge together. Now, I think this is overall a good thing when you take into account how Sony offered a counteroffer. Remember that? And I think if Sony was going to team up with Paramount, it would have led to the worst outcome, as it would take away any potential competition between two of the film industry's biggest champions. Don't get me wrong, Skydance is big. I mean, they have basically anything Tom Cruise is in. They have G.I. Joe, among many other things. But they're definitely not as big as Sony, so it'll cause less disruption overall if these two merge. Instagram is bringing unskippable ads to their platform, it seems. The ad breaks are apparently only going to be a few seconds long, it seems, so it shouldn't affect much. But I think it is actually going to be a good thing in the long run, as it'll encourage you to stop scrolling. Or it'll help snap you out of a trance that you're in. Like if you're scrolling an Instagram model's page and you're just going insane, like, oh yeah, they're so beautiful. And then you just see an ad, you'll be like, man, why the fuck am I being such a simp? And then you'll become motivated to actually do something with your life. I can't even say this is a bad move for Instagram either, because even if it does mean people will stop scrolling and they'll get less traffic overall, I mean, you're still seeing an ad at the end of the day, so Instagram's still making money from you. Twitter didn't want to have Instagram take the spotlight today, so they officially announced something as well, being that porn is officially now okay. This is really just a huge nothing burger, though, as you're seeing porn in the replies of every single tweet anyway, so them actually allowing it isn't going to make much of a difference at all. It might actually even benefit the platform overall, as it won't be allowed in profile pictures or headers, and you'll have to put warnings on the content. Assuming the warnings are actually enforced, this will hopefully get rid of a lot of the OnlyFans bots, as they can still promote their OnlyFans on the site now. They can do it without any trouble, without having to resort to spam or putting people that are below 18 at risk. Another benefit to the warnings is that it would make it easier to filter through all the gimmick accounts, as you could just quickly scroll past any of the censored posts and then just actually look at what you're there for, which is the gimmick. For our last story today, I just wanted to bring attention to the hashtag FixTF2, which is now making its way around the internet just as it did last year around this time. This means that Valve evidently hasn't fixed it as they promised, but maybe we can get them to make a promise yet again, and hopefully it's not empty this time. The game is now even unmixed on Steam due to the amount of issues that it's experiencing. So, I think that alone is call enough for Valve to do something. The TF2 community loves the game more than anything. I have so many friends who actively play TF2, so if the community is switching up on a game that they love so much just because of so many bugs and issues with matchmaking, whatever, Valve, it's time you fix TF2.